Rise and shine on 3. 1, 2, 3. Rise and shine!
Hey Spartan fans, Patrick Klinger here, and welcome back inside Alexander Two-A-Days. And believe it or not, this is day number 9. We're almost 2 weeks in here, and today we're going to talk about the guys who don't really get their name in the paper a whole lot. You know, they're the slobs up front on the offensive line, and I'm joined by Alexander offensive line coach Scott Cooper. And coach, being an offensive lineman is probably one of the least glorious positions on the field. You mean you're the last one to see the praise when you do something right, and probably the first to catch some criticism when you do something wrong. So this season, with this Alexander Spartans offensive line, how important is this offensive line this season given the style of offense trying to run this year?
Well, it's very difficult. Our guys are so young. When they're in little leagues, they're not learning the same techniques that we're teaching them. So it's all new to them. We had 2 returning starters off last year's team. Both of them are nursing injuries, knee injuries. Brandon Wilkinson, he's tore his ACL last year. He's rehab, tweaked it again. Don't know how much he's going to be able to help us right now. So we lose one of our top leaders off there. And then Trent Llewellyn, he's got a knee injury. So everybody else is a new face. Freshman, sophomore, no varsity experience even if they're a junior. So, it's just a matter of us getting them in the right position and them trusting the tools that we're giving them to get there. Because everybody thinks it's all about mad aggression up front, but you have to be really, really smart and know where you're stepping on every individual play. Yeah, and you're talking about this inexperience on the offensive line. I mean, we've seen it in practice with some miscues here and there each day, but what do you think are the elements of the game with this offensive line that these guys are struggling with so far? Just the steps and the speed of the game. A lot of them are coming up from eighth grade or JV, and that's a whole nother animal when you step on the varsity field. We saw that at Crooksville. We had a hard time adjusting to the speed of the game because we got young guys on our scout team, so we can never replicate that kind of speed in the game. So when they get there and they see that speed, they start losing focus on their steps and where they need to be at.
And the best way to get varsity experience is to play varsity football, and they're going to be doing that in exactly 2 weeks, so that's coming up pretty fast. And even with the inexperience, I mean, there are some upperclassmen, that a select few of them on the offensive line. So here in camp, who are the ones that you think have stood out to you on the offensive line and kind of rose up and been a leader?
I'll tell you, one of the big surprises to me has been Austin Klein. He's played every position on the line, center, guard, and tackle, and he's been doing a great job. His fundamentals are sound. He's a pretty tough kid. And then we got Luke Chapman, who's a freshman. He's also played every offensive position up there, which gives us some versatility. He's one of the kids that are adjusting to the speed of the game. Then we got Trent Llewellyn, Nathan Belleville, some guys like that. Isaiah Lyle, those guys up there, they're getting their first taste of varsity experience too, but they're coming along and everyone's getting a lot better. So I think those are some names and faces that you're going to see a little bit and hear a little bit more about.
Absolutely, and just the last thing I got for you. I mean, earlier we were talking about some of those guys that are out at the moment, and one guy in particular, one guy that saw some playing time last year, Brandon Wilkinson. Yeah. He's been out so far with that injury that he tweaked here a month back, and he goes to the doctor on the 22nd, and we get him checked out, and hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later sometime this season. When he gets back in and he is healthy, what do you think that he brings to the table for this offensive line?
He's 160 pounds soaking wet, but pound for pound, he's one of the toughest guys we got. He plays hard, he's very intense. I love his physicality. More than anything, I want him back on our team. I want him playing. I want him up there right now. But I want him to be healthy. I feel for him, and I hope he can get there. We're just going to have to see.
Absolutely, and we certainly wish him the best. Coach Cooper, I appreciate you taking the time here between practice. Now, Spartan fans, make sure to stay tuned throughout Two-A-Days here tomorrow as we look back with some of the guys on this second week and see some reactions as we finish up 2 days before the scrimmage on Saturday with Amanda Clear Creek. So make sure to stay tuned tomorrow, and we'll see you next time.